my name is Victor Salama. I'm the Executive Director of Greater Newark Enterprises, or GNEC for short. Glad to be with you here to talk a little bit about target market segmentation. My background, not only am I a nonprofit executive for a good number of years, I used to be a business owner, and I teach entrepreneurship mostly to high school students and public school teachers once a week. So entrepreneurship is something that I dearly love. It's part of my everyday life, and I'm excited to share some of my thoughts today on why understanding your target market and your target client is so vital. So one of the frustrations that I have as the executive director of GNEC is when we have prospective clients approach us and they're seeking a loan. And when we ask them who their clients are, they basically say, oh, everyone is our client. Well, that is one of the biggest red flags that we look for and we see and hear from prospective clients. The idea that everyone is your target market is actually false. Even the largest companies in the world segment their markets. And what we want micro businesses to do is to undertake the exercise of market segmentation, because it's really critical, particularly for micro businesses, as most of the micro businesses, or almost every micro business that approaches, lacks the resources necessary to do all that they want to do. So when we ask them about the target market, we want to guide them and coach them about how they segment that market. So how do you undertake that market segmentation that I just spoke about? Well, there are 4 different elements to the market segmentation process. And the 4 are demographic, geographic, psychographic, and behavioral. So let me get into a little bit for each and every one. In terms of demographic, what you want to understand is who the prospective client is for your product or service. Remember, your product and service must solve a problem. So who are you solving the problem for? So in terms of demographics, you want to understand the age, right? If you're selling a toy, you're probably not going to sell and target older people as opposed to prospective parents, right? If you are selling a facial cream for women, you are going to target females. So those are the types of things that you have to understand. You also, in terms of age, is very important, right? If you're trying to sell school-aged products, again, you're not targeting an older population. You're targeting the specific population that might purchase school-aged products. So that's really important. The other one that's actually also interesting is race and ethnicity. If, we have a lot of micro businesses to come to us with a product that is focused and geared towards a specific ethnicity. So you need to understand where that ethnic group is and how to reach them. So that's an important part of the demographic aspect of the segmentation. The next one is geographic. You need to understand where your prospective target audience lives. That's really important, right? It may be a split between urban, suburban, and rural. That's a very key one because you need to understand where they live and how they live. One of the things that you probably need to understand is, do they live in single family homes? Do they live in apartments, et cetera, et cetera? Those are some of the things around geographic segmentation. The third one is psychographic. What's their attitude towards purchasing? What's their attitude towards life? Do they love luxury? Do they love brand names? Or do they really focus on value and savings? That's a critical piece to the segmentation. And the last one is behavioral. So the behavioral piece is, how do they purchase? Do they like to travel to a store? Do they like to only purchase, let's say, on Amazon or online? Those are things that you need to understand. So by focusing on the demographic, the geographic, the psychographic, and the behavioral segmentation, you'll be able to narrow down your target audience to the point that you'll be able to get a better return on investment on your marketing dollars. So that all sounds great. But if you're a micro business owner and you don't have a lot of time, how do you segment the market? How do you find that narrowly defined target market that you can go and spend your marketing dollars on? Look, it's gonna take work. It's going to take time, but you can do it, especially now, given all the online tools. So there are basically two approaches to this activity. The first one, and the most important one, is basically primary market research. So, primary market research really means interacting with a prospective target audience and asking questions and getting that feedback. Now, how do you do that? Well, for micro businesses, one of the ways that GNEC suggests is creating online surveys and sending them out to a broadest audience possible, so that way you understand the type of feedback that you're getting, and you put in a lot of demographic questions so you truly understand who is responding to you in a positive way. The other way is really doing informal focus groups. So let's say if I had a food product, I may stand outside of a supermarket if that's allowed or somewhere to that nature and just ask questions of people who I think will be able to be prospective clients. It's work, but you have to do it. It's really, really important. Now, there may be some shortcuts to primary research by doing secondary research. And that secondary research means that basically you are going online or you're going to the public library and you're just seeking information from reputable sources about your prospective target audience. And there's a lot of stuff out there. For those of you who are in Newark, let's say, the Newark Public Library, the business resource librarian, has access to tremendous online resources. You should definitely go and check it out. They'll tell you, you'll be able to find information about market size, about market trends, about purchasing power, all those types of things that you can really use to narrow and define your target market. So, two ways again to do it: primary market research, which is interacting directly, face to face or online, with your prospective target market. And then secondary market research, which is using online tools to define and find out all the information that you have about your prospective target market. If you do that, and then you come to a CDFI like GNEC, chances are really good that will look favorably upon your application, simply because we see that you're a serious prospective business owner or a business owner, and you know who your target audience is. So we understand that if we give you a loan, it will be spent on the target audience that has the biggest chance of purchasing your products or your services. Now, if you're a business owner and you're saying, wow, that seems like a lot of work, I'm just going to chance it, I'm going to take a risk and not segment the market and not, undertake primary and secondary research, what are the risks that could befall your business? Well, number one, given the fact that most micro businesses have limited resources to invest, particularly in sales and marketing, chances are that you won't reach your target audience and no one will want your product or service. Remember, let's say if you have $10,000 to invest in marketing, whether it's digital or, traditional marketing, you're going to have to figure out how to spend that money most effectively, most wisely, to get the highest return on investment. If you haven't done your research, you're going to be spending your money across a wide area, and it won't be targeted enough to get that return on investment. So that's the main risk for those who decide to just jump into the market without doing the necessary segmentation and research. Once you have the information, whether it's through primary market research or secondary market research, the important part of the segmentation process is to test and validate what you found out. So let's say you've sat there and you've interviewed about 50 prospective clients to narrow down your target audience. So let's say your prospective clientele is a female who's 35 years old and graduated high school. What the next step with that information is to take your product and services and test it out with that specific target audience, whether you charge them or not. For the most part, you're not going to charge for the testing and the validate, but you need to figure out if that product or service solves that specific target market's problem. That's the key. That's what micro businesses are launched to do. It's not to make money, it's to solve a target market's problem. If you're able to show that your product or your service solves that specific target market's problem, then you're going to make money and your business is going to be successful. So remember, as you gather the data, continue to test, continue to validate your findings, because that will focus your next round of questions, more importantly, and just be able to ask more and more questions that will be able to get you to the point where you can say, yes, my product or my service solves a specific problem for a specific narrowly defined audience. And once you do that, you're going to find out that you can reach that specific target market in a variety of ways. And it's going to be an exciting part for your business. Now, the exciting part happens. You'll be able to put together a marketing strategy and a marketing plan for your micro business. So we have experts that are able to help you. One of them is Berdia Chambers, and she's going to be sharing her thoughts on marketing strategies and marketing plans.